Make sure you stick around for this entire show. I got my first ever all 11 list, Minnesota Vikings style. Let's get to it. Welcome to Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter at SkullWorld and at MN Sports Podcast. Go down below, click like, click subscribe, make a comment. I want to hear what you got to say. Write down below, comment on why or what you think was the best move of the Vikings offseason. I want to hear from you. And ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Let's get started. I got a treat for you. This is my first ever all 11 list episode. It's entitled Things to be Grateful for in 2022 as a Viking fan. Number 1, hiring Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah over Ryan Poles. There have been complaints about Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, the decisions he's made, but after a few days of thinking about them, they all make sense. And, for instance, him picking Lewis Scene, now his nickname now is Murder Scene, hopefully that sticks. But I don't know if the NFL approves of Murder Scene as a nickname, so it probably won't see the air of an NFL game. But, decisions like that, picking up quality players like Andrew Booth Jr., you just down the line of players being able to go out and get as Darius Smith, moves like that. It showed that Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah can bring players to the Vikings, and Ryan Poles really can't. He hasn't made the best decisions. Now, number 2, hiring Kevin O'Connell. His approach to the team of being a head coach, equally important offense and defense, has been a welcome change for the Minnesota Vikings. So people are falling in love with Kevin O'Connell, and the players are falling in love with his approach. Even recently, one of the players, and I'll talk about that on another show, about what the previous coaching staff was like compared to this one. Everything was a problem. Everything had to get fixed now. When instead this approach has been, hey, we're going to make an adjustment. We're going to be okay. We're going to do it right this next time, instead of complaining and yelling about screwing up and, things like that. And it shows, like in practice, they got the big screen television out there. I don't know if you call it TV, but big screen, so they can make evaluations immediately and correct them at practice rather than dwelling on them and yelling at players in the meeting. So it's a better approach, and the players are liking it. Number 3, this is controversial. It's not even 50-50. There's a loud majority of people that don't like Kirk Cousins, but one of the things to be grateful for is we extended Kirk Cousins, because if we didn't, what would we have done? You may say Deshaun Watson, but is he going to play? And how much money did he sign for? If you're complaining about a player that pads stats and doesn't win games, go look at the winning percentage of Deshaun Watson compared to Kirk Cousins. So think about that. If that's your complaint about padding stats and not winning games, there you go. That's exactly what Deshaun Watson's record is. He's a great talent. I think he's a great quarterback. However, what happens there is that he's bringing a lot of baggage, and do we want that with a first-year coach, first-year GM to go be one of his biggest moves to bring in a Deshaun Watson? So we extended Kirk Cousins. Right move. Now, number 4, addressing the guard position in free agency and the draft. I think that I became a believer when they brought in Chris Reed, not Jesse Davis, but when they brought in Chris Reed and then they drafted Ed Ingram, solidified my belief that they were dedicated to solve that guard position. Different story with the center position. However, they feel like Garrett Bradbury has life in him and they can get it out of him. So let's give him a chance on that. And I do believe we got guys that could switch over to center, including a Chris Reed, or including and have Ed Ingram fall into right guard. Jesse Davis at one time was a decent guard. I didn't see that. People say it, but I didn't see that. So I'm not big on Jesse Davis. But Wyatt Davis also took some snaps at guard in preseason and previous year. So who knows? Maybe we have a fallback on the center position. We can stumble into a good player at center. But I'm mainly talking about the guard position. Let me get a sip of it. Sorry about that. Signing number 5, signing Zadarius Smith. He's been a great player for Green Bay. The sack totals prior to last year were amazing. He got hurt. Recent scares, he slept wrong and he didn't practice. Probably precautionary. As we get older, even sleeping sometimes causes injury. And that may have been the case with Zadarius Smith, but I think it's precautionary. Not trading Danielle Hunter for a win now team. We have him under contract. He doesn't think he's paid enough, so that's a problem we're going to have to cross the road with a little bit later. But he loves Zadarius Smith. They're buddies. They were respected professional players between each other. They had this relationship in like a Pro Bowl game, but they hit it off. And when Zadarius Smith came to the Vikings, they became fast friends. I think this could be the crazy, if healthy, and that's the big question mark. I'm still praying these guys can stay healthy and meet at the quarterback on a regular basis. And number 6, that was number 6. Number 7, addressing defensive backfield and free agency in the draft. I thought it was important to bring back Patrick Peterson, and that was my number. That was like my top 2 things to do this offseason is bring him back, and then going out. And then drafting Andrew Booth Jr. I thought was a big thing. Drafting Lewis Cine is my dark horse best move of the year, just because of Harrison Smith getting older, and he's just another piece of the puzzle. And I think he's going to be a great player, a great Viking. I think teams are going to fall in love with him. Shannon Sullivan, we need to solidify the nickel position. We had the worst nickel cornerback. We had the worst cornerback playing nickel that was graded by PFF last year. So Mackenzie Alexander. So that is a big deal, getting Shannon Sullivan some depth there. But again, Andrew Jr. might come in there, and who knows? We might have a lot of cornerbacks rotating through that position. But we got competition now. We've got a deeper cornerback room, so I'm liking it. That was number 7. Young players, number 8, young players dedicating themselves like Wyatt Davis, Jalen Twyman, Cam Dantzler. I don't know if you've seen a video of Twyman in the weight room, but he looks like Lou Ferrigno in there. I think he's bounced back. We'll see what he does. He's going to come in as a second string in the depth chart, but this guy can play, I believe. And one of the things when he drafted and why he fell, I think, to the 6th round was because he put on weight so he could be a bigger D tackle and look more attractive to teams. It was bad advice. He lost his speed. He had bad workout at the combine. Vikings weren't worried about it. They felt it was like a great value at that low. There was talking him being 2nd round, 3rd round talent. We got him way late. And unfortunately he had the shooting he got involved, he was a victim of. I just lost my list, so sorry about that. I did it on a different computer. There we go. So, and then Wyatt Davis, he was a little more. He went in the offseason more, working out more, getting ready for this season. He admitted that he came in a little out of shape previous year. Again, he was injured, so we understand that. A lot of people thought he'd be a plug-and-play guard. Turns out we just didn't give him the time of day last year. But he put in more effort, and I think he'll get a chance. Maybe not this year, but down the road. But it's nice to have a guy like that competing. Cam Dantzler, same thing. He came into the with bad weight going into the draft because he was 175 as a cornerback at like 6'2". He was rail thin. He put on weight. It was bad weight. His speed, he was in the 4.67 40 for a cornerback. Vikings drafted him anyways because of game tape, game speed. He later did a pro day where he did he recorded it and put it on Twitter or whatever, and he ran faster in that video. So we drafted him. We weren't worried about him. And this year, going into this season, he's gone up to 191 as a cornerback and supposedly muscle. So he didn't do the bad weight thing that he did for the draft. He did the good weight thing, and now hopefully he's going to have his breakout year. And he was good as a rookie, and he was pretty decent last year. He was in the doghouse, and he didn't get out of it until later. And then number 9, Justin Jefferson. Always be thankful for Justin Jefferson. I hope we have him 10 years plus. It's going to be hard because of how much receivers are getting paid now, and he's eligible for an extension after this year. And just pray that we can keep a Justin Jefferson. Again, always thankful for Justin Jefferson. This one, I'm thankful for Dalvin Cook. People don't value the running back position as much anymore, but this guy's a weapon. And I think if you reduce his workload and put him in better plays and move him around a little bit, we can save this guy. Robert Smith retired early. This is about the time period where we started seeing Robert Smith just blow up and then retire. When he became a free agent, he gave up a big payday. Now he's on I seen him on the Vikings network. I want Dalvin Cook to have a longer career with the Vikings than Robert Smith did. It's very possible that he could, but I'm enjoying him now, and I'm thankful he's on our team. He makes us a better team. He makes us more diverse. Him and Justin Jefferson are fun to watch. Throw in an Adam Thielen. I didn't put him on this list. He's aging out a little bit, but I'm a little dark horse big year I'm putting out there is Adam Thielen. He said he's gone back. He's reevaluated his training, wants to last longer in this league. It's his 10th year. He's putting in more effort. I expect big things from Adam Thielen. He just got to stay healthy. And number 11, assembling the coaching staff. We did Wes Phillips and Ed Donatel and Mike Pettin. I think the brain trust that we brought in, guys are bought in to the collaboration effort. They really are all players, coaches, but not to the fact that they just going to let players do whatever they want. They're just fair. And that's what I think players are going to come to them. Their teachers. Zadarius Smith really says Mike Pettin did him right when he went to Green Bay. Remember, Pettin was defense coordinator, won 3 NFC title games and got fired. So we got good coaches here. Very good coaches, and we should be all thankful for it. Now that's it. That's my all 11 list. First inaugural all 11 list. Why 11? Well, there's 11 players, okay, at one time on your team. So all 11 list. And that's Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. Follow me on Twitter at SkullWorld and at MN Sports Podcast. Now, click subscribe, ring the bell so you never miss an episode, and make a comment. What was your favorite thing that the Vikings did in the offseason? Have a great day. See you next time.